So I think in the last class we have discussed about the cloud delivery models and cloud deployment models. That is, we have spoken about platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, software as a service, and then we have tried to discuss about public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. So I think that is what we have done in our last class, right? Fine. So let us get started. So today we will try to understand enterprise needs. When I say enterprise needs, what do I mean by that? So enterprise needs is basically how your organization would like or would want to use the cloud, would want to use the cloud. So this is basically what we'll be discussing. And I'll start my discussion with every organization has various infrastructural needs. I'm writing it as infra needs, such as they might need storage, they might need compute. Okay, so these are the two popular needs. So obviously rest of them will support it. For example, network comes into play to support storage or to support compute, right? So compute means you can run your application. Storage is where you basically uh, put your data of your organization, right? Okay, so now let us discuss about storage needs, and let's understand storage needs of the organization by the scenarios, right? Storage scenarios, right? So let us go to visual mode again. So because images give you more perspective, right? Yeah. So right. Okay. Consider this to be your organization. So in your organization, there will be a lot of data that they might already have. Lot of data that they might already have because they have a lot of servers, right? So let me put as physical servers. All right. I think this is a better way. Yeah. They might have a lot of servers in your organization. I'm just drawing only few. I'll draw only four stuffs. Okay. And for all of these servers, your organization will basically take a lot of backups, right? So storage backups. Backup of your servers, right? So mm, yeah, let me use this icon, or let me use this. Okay. So they might be taking backups in various different servers, right? So yes or no, every organization tends to do this, right? So there are a lot of servers that are running in your organization, and we generally try to ensure that that data is basically backed up on different servers. And these backups are something which will help us in restoring our servers when they go wrong. Okay, so backup is one need. Okay, apart from backup, right, we also use different kinds of storage devices like network storage devices, a lot of storage needs in your organization, right? So I'm removing this backup. I'm calling this as, okay, uh, storage. I'm calling this as storage servers, right? So in the storage servers, there might be backup, there might be network drives, there might be some other important information which your company wants to basically put it in. Now, what your company wants had decided is, let us move this storage, or let us move some parts of storage to the cloud, so I can reduce maintenance. I want to reduce the maintenance costs of that. So what is that storage that they can move, and what are the different options that cloud gives you? Okay, so this is our first scenario. Okay, so let me take a snapshot of it. Okay, right. Okay, storage scenarios. Oh, let me put it in this way. Scenario one. Okay, organization wants to save cost on storage. Okay, dot slash images slash, I think it is cloud 18. Okay, cloud 18.png. This is our first scenario. So organization wants to save cost on storage. Okay, I'm just fine tuning it, which is okay. Let's okay. Now let's classify storage into various different sections. Okay, so we'll have network storage. So the network storage is, so let us assume that you have thousands of systems on your organization, and let us assume that there is some information which you want to share for all the 1,000 computers. So basically what you would do, you would go for a network storage, which can be mounted easily on any server and anyone can access that, and then you will manage controls of it. So you have network storage, right? And then you have every server will have their own storage. That's anyway present. So server backup storage, okay, and archive storage. Archive storage is, this is basically, okay, before I try to tell what it is, can anyone tell me the difference between what is backup and what is archive, and when we use what? Any ideas of backup and archive? This has nothing to do with cloud. Okay, yes, I have one right answer. Backup is generally taken so that in the case of failures, you can resolve your machine quickly. So for example, I take a server backup so that if that server goes wrong, I can restore the backup and get the server up and running quickly. Whereas archival is basically for disasters. Let us assume that your company is having a data center. We'll take the whole data center backup and put it at a different place. We archive that, okay, and we put it at a different place, okay. So that in the case of any disasters in your organization, you can bring the data back. But understand one thing: backup has to be quick. Archival recovery will not be quick because it is used in the cases of extreme corner cases. Am I clear on this? Archival is backup and archival. Backup is for immediately fixing the data, fixing servers going wrong. Right? When I say immediately, it might be the matter of hours. Okay, in even today in your organization. But when we speak of archival is for disasters, and archival generally will take at least few days for your servers to come back, or for your, because archival is generally used when some fire accident happens, when natural disaster happens, right? So these are the cases where we'll use archival. Okay, and archival data is extremely important for some of the organizations, right? Some healthcare, financial industries, they have some regulations and they have to archive the data for 20-30 years, right? So this is the basic difference between why we use backup and why we use archive, right? So yes, yeah, yeah, right then. So before getting into scenarios, I'll try to write this. Okay, right. Organization want to save cost on archival storage. Okay, we'll go into every storage. So they want to use cloud to store their archival, and generally, okay, every cloud gives archival storage at very less cost, right? Archival storages, okay, that's the motivation for organizations to move to cloud for at least archival storage. Okay, generally archival storage should not be present on the same location where your servers are, because if you are doing the archival of your data and putting it in the same location, it is no different to backup, because in the cases of disaster, how do you recover that? So you have to understand every disaster. Now if you understand, I have my organization's data center, right, which is looking like this, and then what I would do is, this is my cloud provider. Okay, and to my cloud provider, okay, I'll be, okay, export archives, or let me put it as archival storage. Okay, right, and then uh, okay, yeah, this looks fine to me. So let us assume that this is your archival storage of the cloud. Okay, archive, storage service of the cloud. Oh, 1 minute. I think I messed up something over here. Archival storage service. Even today, your organizations are doing this, right? It might not be to AWS cloud or Azure cloud or whatever it is, but what they do is, for example, organizations which have multi-sites, for example, like Infosys Hyderabad might archive the data to some data center in Infosys Bangalore, so that if something happens in Infosys Hyderabad, they will be able to recover all of that data, right? Yeah. Not a collection of backups. It is not actually collection of backups, compression of backups, right? Because it is not collection of backups, it is compression of backups. Okay. So generally, some companies take weekly archivals. Some companies take it as monthly archivals. Disadvantage can we bring very fast. See, understand one thing. You will use archival data when your company's one site has gone on fire. When company's one location is completely sinked in water, it is disaster. So only during disasters you will use archival storage. So we don't expect speed there. Okay. Vamsi, that's the basic case, right? Okay, right. So this is basically what it is. And every cloud supports archival storage, right? So, right. Now, cloud 90. All right. But here we have to discuss a few options over here. So, but I'll discuss that. Okay. So, scenario 2. Your organization, okay, wants to move some infrequently used backups. Used backups to cloud. Okay. So the story is same. Okay. Right. So same as above. But we are coming to one important point over here. Okay. The both scenarios above speak about moving the data into cloud. Okay. But for moving, what are the options which we have? Okay. Right. So let's consider the following scenario. Okay. I have easily used a word called as moving the data to the cloud, but that's the most important activity over there. Okay. Who will do that? You and me will do that if we join as a cloud engineers. Right? Okay. What are the team names to do disaster? Sir, Srikanth, understand one thing. Okay. So there is no different team. Generally, you have one team majorly in your organization, which they call as IT team, which is responsible for all of this. But understand one thing. When you are getting into cloud, don't expect happy paths. Okay. So don't expect that there will be, okay, 10 people for doing that job and 10 people for doing this job and all of that stuff. Understand that whenever you are learning cloud, you deal with a lot of infrastructural needs. Okay. And you should know little bit of everything, because you might not be asked to do, but you will definitely be asked whenever there is a cloud involved, how to do that. Okay. Right. It is if you ask me who will do that, I'll say you will do that. Okay. when it comes to at least the cloud side of the things. Okay, right. Okay, right. Fine. So I have easily used a word called as moving to cloud. But is moving to cloud that simple or that easy? What do I mean by moving to cloud? Can anyone tell me how to move to cloud when it comes to data? I think you are doing that. Yeah. So are you not using Google Drive? I'm speaking about data, right? So whenever you have data that has to be moved to the cloud, are you not using Google Drive? Yes. So in that, how do you move the data? Database migration. Wow. Did I speak anything about database? No, right? Yeah. At least there is someone who has used the right term. One is called as upload the files. Okay. Right. Uploading the data using internet. Okay. So when I say using internet, my assumption is you are basically dealing with public cloud. I'm not speaking about private cloud over here. Okay. Right. So what are the advantages of this approach? It is easy. Okay. What is disadvantage? Okay. Unreliable and time consuming. Okay. Am I calling internet unreliable? The answer of that is extremely correct. Yes, internet is unreliable because it is not guaranteed, right? So we should have stringent measures for this. Okay. So shall I show you one thing? Okay. Upload time calculator. So let us assume that your organization they are taking the archive of your company to the cloud. So your archival of your organization is at least 10,000 terabytes. What is it? 10,000 terabytes. Now let us basically go with this. Right. So what is the speed of my internet? My organization uses an internet which is 100 Mbps. Okay. Or I'll make it as 1000 Mbps, which is approximately 1 Gbps. That's fine. And what is the data which I'm trying to upload? I'm trying to upload 10,000 terabytes of data. How much time will it take? Is it okay if it takes 2 years, 9 months, 14 days, 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 35 seconds to upload this data? Yeah. Sai, you might know AWS, but I don't expect in naming any services over here. Right. Okay. Right. So is this okay? Is this number looking good? I'm having 1 GB of 1 Gbps speed, and I have to upload 10,000 terabytes of data, and it takes 2 years. Right. So is it okay? Right. Okay. So, but if I have a data which is of size 1 terabyte, then it's okay, right? So this is exactly what we do, right? So usage, we will use this approach when you are uploading less size, less sizes or small sizes. Okay, you can call these 1 terabyte small. Yes, it is small, right? When you are thinking about an organization, 1 terabyte is very small, right? So and this approach will not work out if we use it for large volumes of storage, okay, or large sizes of storage. Let me not call it as volumes yet. So am I clear on this? Even if you upload files in batches, will it change 2 years? 10,000 terabytes of data with a 1 Mbps connection, 1 Gbps connection is going to take 2 years. That is not going to change, right? No matter whatever technique which you use. Yeah, right. Okay. So now how to deal with this? How to deal with this scenario, right? So generally here, if you have seen, I have basically exported the data, right? So exported the data. In the earlier case, my assumption was you are using internet. Okay. Now the other option is use the truck to export it. Okay. When I say truck, take it as truck. Every cloud has different ways of basically doing this truck. Okay. Yes. Offline mode for transport. Right. Now let us go to the same calculator over here. You have 10,000 terabytes of data. Okay. And then it takes 2 years. But even if you're uploading the data to the US, right, you can send the data within at least 3 or 4 days from India to US, right, using any FedEx or Blue Dart or whatever courier services which you have. Yes or no? Yeah. Okay. So but clouds, what they offer is they don't offer just offline mode, they offer secure offline mode. So they will give you solutions towards this, okay, to solve this problem. Not all clouds do. Understand that. Not all clouds do this. Popular ones can do it. Others cannot afford it. Yeah. So this could be a reasonable okay. Right. Fine. Okay. The second approach is uploading using the offline methods. Okay. Advantages good for large storage needs, large storage movements. Okay. So disadvantage, okay, it would be definitely costly. Okay. So usage, when will we use it? When data to be transferred to the cloud is huge and one time. Okay. So this you will not do every day. Every week you will not tell a truck to come to your office to send the data. No. This you will do it basically whenever you have taken a decision saying that I am moving to cloud. Since I am moving to cloud, I have 10,000 terabytes of data. Take that to the cloud. Okay. From next week onwards, I will be doing, I'll be uploading the data myself once you basically take it over there. This is a one-time stuff. Just like how we move to homes, right? From one home to other home. That's the same thing, exactly what it does. Okay. And then, okay, special hardware devices. So what are these special hardware devices? Let me go back. So I'll remove all of this. Okay. Here I'm not speaking about cloud. I'm not speaking about any other stuff. But every cloud, what they do is, okay. Okay. They will have a specialized, sorry, they will have a specialized storage device. Okay. Okay. This is from the cloud provider. Okay. This specialized hardware is from cloud provider. Now what happens is all of your servers, okay. Let me basically draw some diagrams. Okay. Might be using some storage services, right? Yeah. And then basically your individual, these are the other storage services, whatever we have. Now what we do is whatever data which we want to export, we will somehow get all of this data into this special server. Okay. And rather than everyone speaking to the cloud, this will be the only server which can, okay, synchronize the data with cloud. Am I clear on this? In this case, we will have a specialized hardware which is installed on premise, where we will try to store all the data or send all the data, and that server is responsible for synchronizing the data with the cloud. No, server will not be taken. It is not about moving servers. Offline modes, you export all of the data into special devices, and then you basically upload it to the truck, and truck will go to the other side of the cloud and they will import the data. That's exactly what they do. Okay. So generally, this is basically a very optimal approach. It works out for less storage and high storage also, right? But initially, if you are using internet, if you have large volumes of data, it will definitely take time. But every day, if you have certain amount of data to be moved to the cloud, this special hardware can do the trick for you. Okay. And what they do is they sync the cloud. They sync the data between your organizational, your campus to the cloud. Right. Track and synchronization is that same. Okay. So track and synchronization, why, how are they same? So even if I use this synchronization, it will take 2 years and 1 month for me to upload the data. So am I clear on this? I think I have given you the answer for that. Even if I use track synchronization, it will take 2 years and 1 month for me to upload the data, because this will not improve my internet speed, right? Okay. So generally what organizations do when they have large volumes of storages, first they will use a truck to move the data, and then they will have this device. This device is not used for one time. This device is used for daily movement of data. But whereas your truck is used for one time movement of data, that too large volumes of data. Okay. In the case of offline truck, how much time will it take to upload the data? It depends on from where to where you are traveling. So any part of the world can be reached in 3 to 4 days in any worst case scenario also, right? So that's exactly the measure. So am I clear on this now? Okay. So this is the third way of transport. You just need to understand that you might not be using all of them. Okay. But these are the possibilities. Yes. Right. So, right. Some clouds might give you more options also, but these are the most widely available options on any cloud. Okay, so cloud provider provides a special service which can be installed on the cloud consumer's data center. Cloud consumer is the user. Okay, and this server will help in synchronizing the data with cloud providers storage. Okay, so when to use? Okay, use this mode when daily synchronization or daily sync has to happen between cloud and on-premise. Right? If you don't have this node, there is no need for this special hardware. So every day, if you have to upload some data to the cloud or download some data to the cloud, right? So these are the only two cases when this will help. But if you are doing it only once, then you might not need it. Okay. Tomorrow, whenever you deal with storage mechanisms in your organization, right? No matter whatever cloud which you are dealing with. See, we are learning this. You might end up working in Google Cloud or Azure Cloud or AWS Cloud, and there are some concepts which are same anywhere. Okay, so whenever you are dealing with storage and whenever you want to have storage, okay, in the cloud, storage in the cloud, whereas your servers in the office are using them, then these are the three possible approaches. When you move everything to the cloud, this might not make sense at all, right? So when everything is running on the cloud, your servers are also on the cloud, then you need not sync the data. That will be one-time activities. Am I clear on all the three approaches which you have discussed? One is using internet. The second one was you basically you take this all of this data, then you basically upload this data, not servers, upload the data to some Amazon truck using their devices, and Amazon or Azure or Google truck, and that they will go to cloud and they will import the data. They will import the data. All right. What do you mean by secondary cloud here? If you can define here, the truck defines the physical movement. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, and the physical movement might not be using our devices, it might be using cloud providers devices. That's the whole idea. Shamik Nandan, I think that's what it is. Cloud, you move the data, yes, but you don't move the data using your devices, right? Cloud provider will give you the devices and you will migrate using that or move into the truck using that, right? How about data consistency during transfer to the cloud? Okay, right. How about the data consistency while you are uploading the while you are doing a what you call transfer from one site to other site in your organization right now? So how are you doing that? So let us assume that your organization has 3 sites, and then you are moving the data from one stuff to other stuff. How do you ensure consistency? Same methods will be deployed. It is no different. Okay. Yes. And understand this is a storage migration, not a database migration. Don't get confused as thinking that I'm moving databases. Database is not the only form of data. We have loads of different forms of data. Fine. So whenever you want to have storage in your organization as well as in the cloud, these three approaches will basically help you out. Right. So then we will try to deal since we have understood a little bit about storage, then tomorrow let us try to understand about servers. Okay, so how will you deal with some servers in the cloud and some servers in the on-premise? That's basically going to be our discussion tomorrow. Okay, right? And what are the possibilities and how do you communicate between those two? Okay, right. Is offline method an additional cost even if we consider SaaS, right? Yes, sir. Offline method, whether see there is in storage, you are moving a storage, right? So if you want your storage to be moved, it might be a SaaS, it might be a PaaS later, but first you need to have your data moved, right? Okay. So to move that data, no matter whatever is the cloud delivery model which you are trying to choose, it is an additional cost. Yeah. Okay. Okay, guys. So tomorrow we'll discuss about compute, right? Thanks. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for watching. For more videos, subscribe our channel and click on bell icon.